a medical breakthrough out of London. More than a decade after the first person was cured of HIV, doctors in the UK have successfully replicated that same result, curing the world's second ever HIV patient of this disease. The achievement indisputable. But could this risky procedure work on all HIV patients? So for that, we'll be turning now to Dr. Dominic Gaziano. He practices internal medicine over in Chicago and joins us live to discuss more on this. Doctor, thanks for being with us today. Sure.
My pleasure, Manila.
So please give us a clearer picture on how this works. How does this treatment work exactly?
Sure. So what really happened is there was a Berlin patient about 10 years ago. An American patient went over to Berlin and he got a bone marrow transplant. He had a leukemia. The current patient, the London patient, in 2016, got a bone marrow transplant also. And there was a bonus in both of these transplants that there was a gene mutation for a receptor on the outside of a white blood cell, the lymphocyte, that cured both the leukemia in the the Berlin patient 10 years ago, and also the London patient's lymphoma, but also the bonus that receptor, the HIV virus, could not enter the white cell, and it knocked out. They looked at all the sanctuary sites in different sites in the body, and they could not have it after 18 months, no detectable. They say there's no international standard for cure, but it looks like it is a cure. It looks very promising. It looks real. That this is the second patient that's been cured of HIV.
Now, I've heard some other medical professionals be cautious of saying it's a cure. They're kind of calling it at least remission, the way you would a cancer patient.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. The cancer patient, you say remission, a cancer come back, a breast cancer, whatever, can come back over. We look at remission rates over 2 to 5 years, and it can come back, but it looks like a cure 18 months out. He went off the London patient went off the antiretroviral treatments, and he has not had any detectable virus anywhere in his body. And at 18 months out, it looks very promising. And again, there's no international standard for cure 18 months out without any viral detection. I'd say it's very promising.
Okay, so another thing here is that an AIDS survivor and founder of this group called ACT UP, his name's Eric Sawyer. Listen to what he had to say, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Sure.
While it's an important confirmation that someone going through a bone marrow transplant can be cured of HIV, this is no way a cure for HIV. It's only something that can be used for people who need a bone marrow transplant for some other reason. Bone marrow transplants are very dangerous. A lot of people die of them. And the first person called the Berlin patient, who more than 10 years ago went through a bone marrow transplant for cancer and was cured, almost died during that procedure. It's too risky, extremely expensive, and not scalable for average person.
Okay, doctor. So it sounds like Mr. Sawyer not only is calling this, kind of an accidental byproduct of the procedure, but that it's not really realistic to use on most patients because of the risks involved and the availability.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is risky. All bone marrow transplants are risky to cure the blood cell cancers and other cancers, and I think that he is correct. And it's not practicable or scalable, for the general population. There was actually some engineering, and they chose for both patients the mutation and the donor to help potentially cure that, and it actually worked. But he's exactly right. It's not practical, but the hope is that we make these facts available to researchers and virologists and immunologists, that there's hope that this receptor was disabled by the mutation and it potentially a cure. But I think the message, and he's saying, I think it's important, it's not around the corner, maybe 5 or 10 years out, even with this therapy or longer, but it is toxic for patients. They have to irradiate with radiation. The first patient went through radiation, the second different, which is actually some improvement, that they didn't have to destroy all his immune cells via radiation on the London patient. And it's a little bit encouraging there, but it's not practical. And the message is that HIV patients, the 37 million, need to stay on their medications, and it does knock out almost undetectable viral loads, for most patients, that they tolerate these medicines fairly well. There are certainly side effects. I did listen to his interview, and there are toxicities, but they're improving every year, and they're coming out with HIV medicines that may be only used once a month or once every 3 months, maybe soon. And the toxicities are improving, but it's important for people to stay on the medicines. Okay, undetectable viral loads. And
yeah, it sounds to me like you're saying we've still got a really long ways to go. And real quick, doctor, yes. Should people just take this cure right now with a grain of salt? And you know, are you as a medical professional afraid that people hearing this news will engage in more risky behavior because they think technology's there, that we're there, then we can cure HIV, we can cure AIDS?
Well, that's true, and we have not cured HIV or AIDS, and they should not. And again, Anthony Fauci, the head NIH researcher, and one of President Trump's person that tries to decrease transmission by 2030. One of his plans is for us to stay on the medication, and he says, you know, it is encouraging. It's proof of concept. It's a second patient that seems to be cured, but you know, we want to, I guess, celebrate this. This does look real. This is real news. This is
celebrating it and moving it in the right direction, at least.
Correct, and it should hopefully embolden virologists and immunologists, and we need to get support for research for them to find better cures and the different phases of replication with the HIV virus, whether it's receptor, which this is on the outside of the cell, or other ones. Now, but I think we should not go off our medications, and cautious optimism, yes.
All right. We'll leave it right there, Doctor. Cautious optimism. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us, Dr. Dominic Gaziano.
My pleasure.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.